Oh, yeah?
2 topics to talk about.
Okay.
And in our Little Falcons preschool, we only have the staff to recognize today.
See, it's already shorter.
It's because little documents are shorter anyway.
Yes.
Okay. You ready? Okay, it's 5 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Starting out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Mrs. Acker, would you like to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the agenda.
And a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. Next thing is one of 2 executive sessions, so we have a motion to go into our first executive session.
I so move.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, here we go.
No, you do not want me to do that. Christy absolutely she could do it. Yeah. Last year I did it, Christy over again, like, what is this mean? She was like, what do you mean? I can't grasp it. I understand it a little bit better now that we like had to, Christy and I sat and went through each plan and like tried to come up with a solution on how to make it better for everybody. So I feel like I have a little bit of a grasp on it, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Christy does, she puts all these beliefs and she signs it all the time, so I'm like, she understands it. So I gave it to her during open enrollment, I'm like, I'm really just here first, like, I really don't do support, yeah. Like, I don't do anything. I can tell them how much they're gonna be paying. It is, yeah. Yeah, and they come back and they're like, I didn't sign up for that, Chris, but. Yeah. Change it now. Yeah. There's been so many times that people have said that. I'm just like, no. All right. All right. Okay. You never know who's gonna come in. Yeah. You never know. Yeah. I hear rumors.
Okay, we're temporarily reconvening, only to go into executive session again, if I have a motion to do so.
I so move.
And a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we'll reconvene from our executive session. Next thing up is the approval of minutes for the April 2nd, 2025 board meeting. Can I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes.
And a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next thing is a public hearing on Native American education, so we need to vote to suspend our regular meeting to conduct that public hearing on Native American education and grants. I'll move that we suspend to conduct that business. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right, President Rakowski, members of the board and guests, thank you for being here tonight. I'm just waiting on an adapter for my computer here, and we'll get started. Marissa, come on up. So Marissa's here with me. She's our new Native American Cultural Center specialist. So we position you all approved earlier, I believe either last year, it was last year, and then we were able to get her hired and started. Grab them all right? You want to make sure you got the right one. All right. So part of our grant funding is that each year we need to host a public session with the governing board, which is called a tribal consultation. And then we take this same information and we meet with any of the federally designated tribal communities that want to meet with us. So in the past, we typically meet with Fort McDowell and Salt River. That's where the vast majority of our Native American students come from. But we do have students from lots of different tribes. And so they're welcome to attend as well. And so this is the presentation we give. Someone will walk you through it. If you have any questions, you can to do that. So we always start because a lot of these communities don't know a lot about our district. So we always start with giving a little background. So, we talk about our A letter grade as a district and at the high school specifically, our 2 National Model School Awards. We have 2 schools that have been identified in the past as A+ schools of excellence. High school and elementary school have been U.S. News and World Report, National and Best. So we're really proud of the awards that our district has won. We have some district initiatives. Our biggest one has kind of served almost as a kind of a strategic plan for us, is our Portrait of a Graduate. And we are taking the Portrait of a Graduate to a whole new level next year, where it will be integrated even further into our elementary students, where they'll be doing project-based learning through their specials course, where they'll be hitting on these 6 skills throughout the year, heading into middle school with a far higher mastery of these skills, and then carrying those on all the way through high school, where they culminate with the senior internship. All right. We have launched Accelerate Fountain Hills this past year. This is our Honors and Gifted track, and so we're adding Innovate 21 Junior to the elementary. We're guaranteeing it in 4th and 5th grade, and Ms. Reichler is working hard to bring it all the way to 2nd grade next year. We'll have more information for parents soon if we're able to get that done. If not, it'll be the following year. They go from Innovate 21 to Innovate 21 Junior to Innovate 21 at the middle school, which is a very popular program. And then at the high school, they can go into FHU or AP Capstone. Our partnership with Arizona State was just recently highlighted in Thrive magazine, which is one of the Arizona State productions, showcasing 2 of our student athletes and how the ASU partnership has created more opportunity for them and their families. And for all of the families that are listening tonight, I would highly recommend you take advantage of the Arizona State program. You can graduate from high school with 30 credit hours already done and have your first year of college complete, and we call that our FHU program. AP Capstone is another honors and gifted track for our high school students, and the combination of the AP Capstone and Arizona State really provides pretty amazing opportunity for our kids. I'm going to have Krista help me a little bit on grants. She's our grants manager here. So Prop 202 is, we were approved for this grant, received $6,700. This is used for furniture, room decor, books. This year's grant will continue to focus on our Fountain Hills Cultural Center, which Marissa here is going to talk about here in a second. Title VI is approved to continue funding our Native American specialists, grants management, and Native American parent committee coordination. We were budgeted $61,378, which goes to salaries and those other stipends that go with grants management and Native American coordination there through our parent committee. The application is set to go out on May 9th, and Krista's on top of that. With that, I'm going to turn over to Marissa to talk a little bit about her program. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My name is Marissa Flores. I'm the Native American Specialist. I have the pleasure to work with our Native American students as well as other students who are interested in learning about Native American culture and their history as well. So coming on, it was a blank slate, trying to create something for the students to be able to feel welcome and have a place to just feel that connection to home. And so I've currently been working with Fort McDowell as well as Salt River tribes to make sure we can incorporate some of their cultural backgrounds and things that maybe their students might want to learn about or see. And so currently we've been developing, but hopefully once we get it all together, we'll be able to have a ribbon cutting ceremony and welcome all students to come in and participate. Thankfully, I've gotten a grant to be able to build a Native Connections program that students can come in and learn how to bead, sew, as well as do some artwork and be able to put that on display and be proud of their work as well. And so just being able to bring that to Fountain Hills is such an important piece of culture and history that maybe we don't really see every single day. And so it's just an honor to be able to do that and help bring that connection to our students.
Thank you. Okay, another source of funding we get is Impact Aid, and for the fiscal year 2026, application has been completed and submitted. We will see reduction due to declining enrollment from students from Fort McDowell. So this is this total comes from students who live in federally designated land, like military bases, reservation land. So because the Fort McDowell student population is declining as well, like the district and most districts around the state, we will see a reduction. We don't know exactly how much yet, but it will be a reduction in funding. All right, we have our ESSA grants. So we have Title I. This is not just related to Native American students. This is for all students, but we also use the funding to ensure that we're providing great opportunities for all kids. And so we do need to review those. Our budgeted allocation this year is $199,000, and you can see that some of that goes to salaries, benefits, supplies, Chromebooks, extracurricular fees for homeless youth, and indirect cost recovery. The big portion of that, though, is salaries, reading specialists, dean of students, a portion of that, homeless youth support, and then family engagement coordinators that we did this year to try to get more parents and activities happening in our sites, which is something you see a lot with Title I schools, trying to get people onto the campus. Title IIA, we had $54,725 was our budget allocation. This is grant funding. One of the things that we are doing with that is putting some money towards principal retention. We believe it's really, really important that you have consistent leadership at the sites. And we have seen in the past when it is a new principal every year that we lose staff and we lose momentum and our letter grades drop and our graduation rate drops. Just to give you an example, 3 years ago when my team arrived, the high school's graduation rate was 79%. It is currently 96%. So a big part of that is we've had most of the same team in one way or another working for the last 3 years. So we also have some PBIS coordinator stipends that are in there. And then we have some model school. We're going to be going to training there in Washington, D.C., as well as picking up our award when we're there. and then some indirect cost recovery there as well. Title III is 3538 this year, and this is for English language learners. So Leah can give you more information if you'd like on this, but it's a very small number. We have a small number of students who require EL services, and most of that you can see has gone to teaching aids, okay? Then we have Title IV-A, 18,000 and change. And some of this is where we've been pulling money for our ASU program to help defray the cost of M&O. And we did get that approved through the grants management system. So for example, ASU this year, I haven't seen the total number, but between the 15,000 roughly that we put here, plus $5,000 donation from the Peter and Teresa Conti Foundation, we're looking at the cost of this FHU program for the district under, I would guess, under $30,000 for the year. So when you think about it, we gave our kids 150 ASU classes for under $30,000, which is really amazing for them. So that's how we're kind of able to do that. The next part of our presentation is we've updated our Native American policies and procedures. This is what we've been working on for the last 2 years. And you approved this on January 8th of 2025 as a board. The document will be reviewed yearly, and we're working very closely with our Native American Parent Committee to ensure that their voice is heard and that we're making the changes that they feel are important. We currently have 11 members on that committee, and those monthly meetings happen throughout the school year. In fact, we have one today. And it's been a really good experience. We've really come close together and worked through a lot of things that we feel we could do better. And so we're really happy with that. And Marissa's an example of that, the work we've been doing over the last 3 years to get this where it needs to be. All right, part of our requirement is to show participation rates, achievement, and discipline. So we do need to review that in a public setting. So at McDowell Mountain Elementary School, we can see proficiency is about 34% in English, 53% in math. And because the proficiency is divided up into 3 areas, partial, proficient, highly proficient, the letter grade is based off of a combination of those three areas, okay? In discipline, we've had at McDowell Mountain where we have the most discipline of all 3 schools, probably because they're little and they're still learning. We've had a significant number there that we need to continue to work on and make sure that we're growing and reducing the discipline there. I want to point out that Ms. Reichler has cut the discipline in half, and you're going to see that here in her first year in that position. At Fountain Hills Middle School, you can see proficiency about 43% in English, 50% in math. And we have seen you see a huge reduction in the number of referrals from elementary to middle, and you'll see the referrals from middle to high school even smaller. So here you can see that we have about 22% of all referrals have come from students here, and they make up about 15%. So it is off a little bit, and it is more area for growth. At the middle school, we have 6 sports programs. Native American students participate in all 6. Their highest participation rates are in softball, boys basketball, and girls basketball. Lowest is in cross country, but we have 26 total students in athletics from the middle school. At the high school, we have our math proficiency is about 29%. Remember, math and English get a little harder at the high school level with the ACT, 43% in English. But you can see the referrals dropped to 13 total for this year. So one of our lowest numbers in the school of all groups of students. So what you can see here is discipline over time in our school district. So our Native American students, from the minute they walk in the door to the point that they leave, you can see that the discipline referrals are drastically reduced. And that's the same for the whole district. I'm going to show you the whole district here in a minute. And that's the goal, because we have kids walking in for the first time that don't know how a lot of times to sit in a class and how to follow rules, and it takes time to get them where we want to get them at. You can see here, Ms. Reichler's work from last year to this year. Those referrals are almost cut in half. At the middle school, drastic reduction from 24 to 25 under Dr. Wheeldryer. And at the high school, massive under Mrs. Pinto. So it is a very, very small number of referrals. The high school has very few to begin with for the whole year. It's a very, very small number. Discipline over time for all students, including every student who's in our district. You can see at McDowell Mountain, last year they had a lot of discipline stuff. And Ms. Reichler has cut it down significantly. So we're really proud of the work she's done. And I'm guessing if I was to bet on this, I would say that number is going to be half next year when we're sitting here talking, because I have a lot of confidence in her. No pressure. That's right. The middle school has also reduced their referrals. This is Dr. Wheeldryer's third year, and I'm on that campus daily. And like any middle school, it's active, it's busy, there are things that happen. But the number of referrals have dropped. Remember, this is minors and majors. I should go back and repeat that. Okay. So when the numbers look high, this is, I got a minor because I didn't have they asked me twice to put my notebook away, or I had gum in class. These are not all, I should have said that a long time ago, I apologize. These are not all majors. The majors are very small. This is all referrals combined. So most of these are minors. And then you look at the high school, it's very, very small this year. Their total discipline is very, very low. Participation rate, students participate in 14 out of 15 sports programs. Highest participation rates were in girls basketball, which I was an assistant coach for. I'm really proud of them. Volleyball, boys basketball, lowest participation rate was wrestling. They were the only one that had zero participation. 60 total students are in athletics from our Native American students. So that's great to see. As a district, some additional dropout data. This is really impressive. Native American students have a 100% grad rate. It is the highest of all groups, which is fantastic. And a special thanks to Yolanda Nez and Dr. McElligott, who work really hard with their students. She was our teacher of the year, as you saw earlier from the VFW. But this is all, and this includes our virtual academy kids. So it's not just the high school. This is all Native American students from last year in 2024, 100% grad rate. 0% dropout rate, 0% truancy rate, chronic absenteeism. You can see at the high school and middle school, these are numbers of students, not percentages. So we can see at the middle and high school, it's pretty low. Elementary is a little higher, so we have some work there to get kids to school every day and not have the chronic absenteeism. Free and reduced lunch numbers, IEP numbers, transfer students, we had 53 in, only 19 out, so that's a good number. High mobility, meaning moving districts quite a bit, only 2. This is an area I've really tried to work on, is ensuring that all Native American parents are aware of our honors and gifted programs. We have 3 students in FHU, 6 in I-21, 1 at the EVE at main campus, and 24 in CTE altogether. I did do a parent night out at the library at Fort McDowell to try to get word out, and I did present all these things to Salt River's board about a month ago to let them know, and we'd love to see those rates increase over time. All right, we've done back to school nights with not only at Fort McDowell, but also here locally in Fountain Hills. I did the honors and gifted nights, like I shared with you, and we have plans for the I-21 Junior next year. We'll be doing a survey to Native American parents coming up in May. We did it last year, and I was really, really happy with the results. We had really good feedback and a lot of really nice things that were shared with us about experiences, about opportunities. So I feel we've really done some good work working together. We added a governing board representative, Councilmember Albert Nelson, this past year. We have site council. We shifted from one site council being focused on Native American information to every. Now it should be a portion of each site council where they review some of this data with their site councils. I have a student advisory board. I have Fort McDowell, you have Pine Nation representation on there. And I have, in fact, the student, I'm going to just throw it out there because it's going to come out anyway. Shania Rivera is one of the students who's showcased in the ASU article. And what a story she has and what a great kid she is. I got to coach her this year. She's on my student advisory board. And you watch out, world. She's coming. She's going to do great things. I'm really proud of her. Communication, we did our town halls, parent meetings. I do copy with the superintendent virtually so anyone can come. I've done them out there before, but I think doing them virtually is probably the best way to do it. We use our Remind app and our Falcon Focus. We did cultural awareness training for staff. Leara Thompson offers that training to staff. We also do bus tours of Fort McDowell, which we've had every school do that in the past, all the staff, just to learn about the industries, the culture, the history, and it's a great opportunity to get out there. I participated with my children in the Sovereignty Walk last year. I will do that again this year. Actually, Dr. Wheeldry has done that with me, as well as Chris Hartman. So that's a great opportunity for us to connect and understand each other's history. So with that, I'll take any questions.
I just love to see all the participation
Yeah.
in everything.
My question would be, thank you for sharing all of that. That was great. In terms of the proficiency rates, I mean, we didn't really get a compare from, say, previous year to, from one year to the next. Do you have a general sense of?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely get you that. We're just in the middle of testing this year. I mean, I could go back a year prior. They really want us to focus on the most recent data in this presentation.
Okay.
I will come back when I do my presentation on ACT and on ASA testing, and I can break it down for you. I will say overall, all students did better on the ACT this year. It's the highest ACT scores we've had since I've been principal or superintendent this year.
Was this same presentation done last year? So you could just give me last year's and I.
Yeah, but what I will say is we have gotten better at this over the last 3 years. So when we got here, there was no parent committee. There was really no voice. It was just, here, we're just sign this document. And we've changed that over the last 3 years. So I don't know how much is in that presentation as far as down to this level, but I will provide it for you.
Okay, thank you.
And we have work to do. Like I said, when we talk about the great things that are happening in our district, we're never going to rest on that we've been successful. We have to, just the coach in me, you have to keep thinking of new ways to reach kids, new ways to improve. What I've been pushing really hard the last couple of years, and I think it's one of our secrets to our success we've had, is we've just gone back to pushing kids into advanced classes and acceleration. And the more kids take those advanced accelerated classes, the better they do on the tests. I mean, it's just, the data's right there to see it with these ACT scores. Since we started the ACT prep class, the ASU classes, I-21, all those things factored in, our proficiency rates, at least at the high school, have gone up significantly. We'll see what our other ones come in at later this month. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And do we need to take public comments too, Krista?
Yes, you can take public comment.
Okay. Are there any public comments
In regards to that,
to this one?
yeah.
Are there?
Oh, no,
No, there aren't.
they don't have to fill out a form for that.
Oh, okay, so are there any public comments? Okay, I guess not. Okay, so I will move that we reconvene the regular meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Uh,
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, on to informational reports. And Dr. J, do you have some voice left to?
I do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just a couple things, real quick. Again, I know we've congratulated her a lot. I think she's even here tonight again. Ava Bourne, just so proud of her. There she is in the front row. So she was recognized by the Fountain Hills Town Council last night for her state runner-up in wrestling. And then I got to hear Coach Salzman talk about her at the wrestling banquet. But what a great kid. We're so proud of her. And like I said, next year, look out, she's coming. And we're going to be there. I was there at the Veterans Arena, and we're going to get it done next year. We're so happy for her. So congrats again, Ava. State testing is going really well. We're almost done. And just a reminder to parents, make sure your kids eat breakfast, because I know when I don't eat breakfast, I'm not the same. So we need them to be ready to roll, get a good night's sleep, and finish strong so that we can have, it's just like anything else. It's kind of bragging rights for our district. I tell the kids all the time, we get dressed up and we cheer on if we score more touchdowns or score more baskets. We got to do the same thing with academics. We should be out there taking that real serious and making our town proud of our academics, and we've done that over the last few years. I'm really proud of that. I shared already our ACT scores look fantastic. I'm going to do a presentation for you in May, and I mentioned the ASU Thrive magazine that's coming out in May, but it's a really cool article, and they're going to do a video ASU on Fountain Hills University, and next year to start the year, they're talking about having Fox 10 come out and do a special on us at the start of next school year, because we become kind of their model of how to do these ASU classes in a high school. So with that, I conclude my comments.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Dr. J? Okay, moving on to district celebrations and Little Falcons Preschool. Ms. Matus.
Good evening, everybody. Melissa, could you join me, please? I think she's surprised. Melissa has been chosen as Falcon of the Month for her exceptional dedication and contributions to Little Falcons Preschool. She has a remarkable work ethic. Melissa consistently goes above and beyond, paying attention to every little detail and taking pride in everything she does. She's always ready to lend a hand, whether it's setting up for an event, assisting with snack, or leaving us nice little chocolate treats on our desk. Melissa is truly a special part of preschool, and she will be deeply missed. We wish her well as she enjoys a well-earned retirement next year. Her warmth and kindness has made a lasting impression on us, and we will miss her in preschool, but we wish her the best. Congratulations. Thank
you. Okay, so she's also our district employee of the month, because that's how awesome she is. I do want to point out, no one has ever gotten 2. So this is a new standard that Melissa setting. Melissa has been part of Fountain Hills School District for a long time. I remember as a teacher her coming in and working in my room, and she was the most respected person on the campus. I still have teachers to this day who no longer work here that ask, how's Melissa doing? And I say, she still leaves treats. She still does the little things that we've come to expect. I want to point out that I have, in all my years, and I say this wholeheartedly, if I was a coach and I had to pick, I had the number 1 pick in the draft, and I was starting a school, I'd pick Melissa number 1. No doubt. She is the hardest worker, the nicest human. She goes out of her way and does the littlest things, and it's just going to be missed. It really is, and I hope she's really bored and wants to come back. I do have her number, and I will call. But I really believe this is one we need to get a standing ovation for. Give it up for Melissa.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, on to McDowell Mountain Elementary School. Tough act to follow there, Ms. Reichler.
Do we have a student? Student here? Do we?
Okay, I don't know if my student's here.
But what about Wyatt Evans? Denise, is your student here?
Student? No.
Okay.
But I do have Miss Amber. You're great. Hi. Okay, so this is Amber Anderson, and Amber came to us this year, and I am so happy to recognize her as our Falcon of the Month. This girl can work, okay? She can work. She's a dedicated paraprofessional who works with our diverse student population. Her commitment to each student's success is absolutely amazing. She consistently goes above and beyond and to ensure that they're reaching their full potential. She has taken a group of students and just with her lead teacher, Miss Alex, and these students have grown leaps and bounds together. I mean, it's amazing. So she's reliable and she's patient, much more than I am, which is essential in supporting her students with varying needs. She creates a nurturing and supportive learning environment where students feel valued and encouraged. Even on those most challenging days, Amber's kindness and unwavering dedication shines through, and she really impacts their lives. She also forms strong bonds with all the teachers around her, and she demonstrates excellent teamwork and communication. And just going the extra mile day to day is a testament to her commitment, and I'm so glad she's coming back. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, these are the same. Are they the same, Krista?
Yeah.
That's for you. And this is for you.
Oh.
Hers has- Maybe they're the same paper, it's not as easy.
Get up, Rich.
Yes. One more. One more. Thank you. And unfortunately, my student was not able to come, but I will be sure to celebrate her over our video announcements tomorrow morning. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, hello, good evening. So for tonight, I get to recognize my student, sixth grader, Hannah Daniels. Hannah. See, I love that big bright smile. She is a bright young lady, she's funny, she's talented, and she is also in our I-21 program. She stands out for her creativity, her positive attitude. She approaches her assignments with enthusiasm and a strong desire to do well, always striving to improve and learn. She's very kind and respectful to both staff and students. Hannah also creates a welcoming and supportive environment in the classroom. Her willingness to help her classmates, whether it's offering encouragement or sharing ideas, makes her a valued and trusted peer. Hannah's joyful spirit and dedication to excellence truly make her a standout student, and I truly appreciate how she acknowledges me when I say hi. Most of the time I get the but she's always like, well, hi there, how are you today? And I'm like, oh, yay! And we, hugs, right? Love and hugs. So thank you for all that you do. when it comes to thinking about staff, this last year in the spring, I was so honored to be able to be given the gift of Miss Ruthie, my Fort McDowell teacher. Come on down, Ruthie. And I think this is what helped with our Fort McDowell stats, because of this young lady right here. She's my Hoka friend. She comes with a wealth of experience. With that, she has been a remarkable impact on our students, not just academically, but in a way that the students that she works with Fort McDowell, she came in just like, wow. I was like, geez. She got these students to think personal academic success to the point that they want to know, how can I do better? And she helped them change their mindset on what it's like to, how can I get on that honor roll list, the principal list, understanding how the GPA system works and how that is, and she's a mathematician herself, and so teaching that to those kids, they do that all the time when they're with her. Like, what do I need to do that? And now they get it. So just that whole change and their whole thought process when it came to their academic journey has made a big shift and has helped us move towards where we are today. I truly appreciate all the things and all the efforts that she gives to our students and my staff. Oh my gosh, she's like an amazing, like, oh, she's already done that. She's already thinking ahead, and she's a problem solver. She comes up with solutions all the time, and all I gotta say is I appreciate you. So thank you, and let me tell you, you should see this woman. She's test day, she's already got everybody prepared and ready to go, and we're all like, let's go, and I'm just like, thank you, Ruthie. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd like to start with our student, Talon. Could you come up, please? We are proud to announce Talon Logan as our Falcon of the Month. Over the years, Talon has grown tremendously, transforming from a young student who sometimes found himself in situations he probably shouldn't have been, into a respected leader here on campus. His ability to stop, reflect, and make mature decisions has earned the admiration of his coaches and teachers, whom he treats with the utmost respect. Additionally, his sharp, dry sense of humor keeps everyone on their toes and brings laughter to those around him. A dedicated athlete in both basketball and golf, Talon is a true asset to our school community, and we are grateful to have him as part of the Falcon family, at least for another, 6 weeks? Until graduation. So congratulations, Talon. And for our staff, I'd like to call up Peter McGloin. was shocked to hear from Pete that he went like 8 or 9 years without ever being recognized as a Falcon of the Month, and that just blew me away because all the years that I've known you, you would have been top of my list every year. So thank you so much for all your hard work. But let me read what other people said about you. So we want to congratulate our incredible school psychologist, Peter McGloin, on being named Falcon of the Month. Peter is the true embodiment of For the Kids, pouring his heart into supporting our special education students with the care and compassion they deserve. His unwavering positivity is infectious. Whatever he's taken, we could all use a dose. Known affectionately by many as Coach Pete, his presence is felt across the campus, and students always know they have someone in their corner. Whether it's offering a listening ear or going an extra mile, Peter consistently shows up and shows out. His dedication doesn't go unnoticed now, and we are so lucky to have him on our team. Congratulations, Pete. You've more than earned this honor.
No, last year.
You got it one last year.
Yeah,
You got it
2 years in a row after so many years.
Had to wait.
Okay, on to winter sports recognition. Who's doing this?
Boys basketball.
Yeah, boys basketball first.
Good evening, everyone. We are always excited to bring our playoff athletes to you to be recognized in front of our board and our community. But I know that our coaches have a lot to say, so we have boys basketball here tonight and our wrestling team. So I am going to invite the boys basketball team up first, as well as Coach Bonner to speak on his team.
All right, I'll just start by saying I'm honored to have got the opportunity to coach these guys. Truly, at the start of the season, you never know how it's going to go. We always start every year saying we're going to be state champs, we're going to be state champs. But from the moment we said it in the off season leading up to these guys this season, you can tell it was a little bit different. There was a buy-in from every single one of them. Making it to the playoffs, not only making it to the playoffs, but making it to the state championship game is something that I haven't done in my time here. I think it's coaching 8 years now. This is the first team that actually got us all the way there. Yes, we did come up a little short, but just kind of put it in scope a little bit for you. There's 50 plus teams that actually compete for the same goal. And these guys kind of buckled down and gave our program a chance to kind of be in that game. And like I said, though it came up a little short, they have nothing to be sad about. I tell them this all the time. If anything, I'm proud as a coach to have gotten the opportunity again to coach these young men. That's all I can kind of speak to them about is the growth that they've kind of made as the years come on, as the years have gone along. Some of these guys have been with the program for 6+ years. To see them make it all the way to this point and kind of push our team to that level is a testament to their hard work and their dedication, not only to ourselves as coaches, but to their teammates and to themselves, truly. So I'm very proud of these guys. And no, we did not make, our final goal is being state champs. It's nothing to hang their heads at. And again, it's a shout out to y'all's hard work. So thank you.
amazing team.
All right, and Coach Salzman and our state qualifying wrestlers.
Hey, good evening. Luke Salzman, wrestling coach of about a million years. We actually had 4 qualify, but 1 could not make it. Tyler Trapani could not make it. We had 17 wrestlers this year, which is a pretty good number. They all worked super hard. It was a fun group of kids. And to qualify for state is not an easy task. There's 18 schools and you have to get top 4. So just to make it to state is an awesome thing. We also had 2 that placed at state. Tyler, who cannot be here, took 6th in a really tough weight class. And Ava took 2nd. We have a girls program now in Fountain Hills, so if you know any girls that want to start wrestling, we're official now. So we're just excited. We have great kids. They have a lot of fun. They work hard, and can't ask for any more. So thank you guys, and good job.
Okay, next we have recognition for the Chamber Gala Educator of the Year nominees.
Okay. Well, this is very exciting for the middle school because our 3 nominees are from the middle school. So, woo, winning! So I'm very, very excited to announce our Educators of the Year, Chrissy Beard. Come on down here, Chrissy. Grudgingly, come down here, Chrissy. And Jennifer Miller. And unfortunately, Amanda Baca, Coach Baca, cannot be with us because she is at basketball. Yeah. So I just want to let you know that you guys should probably know how amazing these teachers are. They work very, very hard. They will do anything for anyone, and in a pinch, you know, you can count on all 3 of these teachers, and they're very much appreciated. So thank you for all your guys' hard work. This is going to be a tough vote. I can tell you right now, if anything, they are all winners. And so I know we have until, I think, deadline of Friday at midnight. So for those who still need to vote, go vote. But in my eyes, they're all winners. So congratulations.
Betsy, did you want to say anything additional? Okay. I just want to call out Betsy, our Fountain Hills Chamber CEO, for putting this on. It is an amazing event. I was shocked at how just amazing it was. I didn't expect that when I walked in last year. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So thank you for all you do for the town.
Okay, on to the picture-free portion of the meeting now, or maybe not. Next up is student activity and auxiliary accounts, starting on page 18 of our packet. And you will notice that all the...
No negatives.
Go ahead.
I said no negatives.
Yeah, exactly. They were all the ending balances are in the positive. So any other comments, questions on that one? Okay, moving on to the unaudited financial report on the following couple pages. Any questions, or there's an explanation at the end there?
This one I had a question for, and you did mention that it will be adjusted with a journal entry, but when it's a cash-controlled account like gifts and donations, I'm confused how it can go negative.
Yes, I anticipated that and did some research, and I'm only going to do this because he told me to, so.
Board members and Vice President McReed, it was my error. I was trying to fix a problem, and I created another problem. And it happened towards the end of March. So I am in the process of fixing that again, so that in your April report, when you see it, they will not be negative.
Okay, so was that account used to pay for something that caused it to go negative, or was it not ever actually negative?
It was not ever negative. It was, I was trying to clear out an undefined account that crept in over the last few years, and in trying to do that, when I gave my instructions, I gave them wrong. So
Okay. Thank you.
it'll be fixed.
Okay, thank you.
See, you can't retire. Just saying. Any other comments or questions? No?
Well, I guess I have one more. On the school facilities board, the negative amount, do we know that we're getting that back, or is that?
I can take that, Chris. You got it? No, go ahead. Okay. So the school facility board account, and we have our auditor here, actually. We've talked about this with the county a lot. So when you get a school facility, like say you're doing a purchase with school facility board, there's never, and stop me if I'm wrong, but there's really never money in there. It's money that they know is available because the state's saying it is available. So for example, we don't pay for it out of M&O and then get reimbursed for it. So when we do a project, it'll go to that account, just like our school safety grant. Like we're charging, like we have POs going to our school safety grant that we have that has the ability to get the money back. Like it's a weird way of doing it, but it's not actually we get reimbursed. Because I thought at one point we had a reimbursement coming. I was really excited because like, oh, we can put that money away, but it's not a real return because it was used out of a grant account that they're going to reimburse. Is that close?
So is it going to accrue as a negative as we pay for the project and then get reimbursed at once?
No.
Well, it is similar to a grant fund.
Yes.
Yes.
So I did, see, I'm getting better. See, she's backing me up on this one. No, it does, because we don't know how long those school facility board projects will take. So what'll happen is it will balance out in the end. What we had, just so you all know, is when my team started 3 years ago, we had some school facility board projects that were never closed out. And we've been closing them out over the last few years. We haven't had a single school facility board project that I'm aware of that I've started. This is all from before my time that we're still cleaning up. The only thing we've done with school facility board moving forward is we have gotten preliminary approval for our roofs to be replaced, but we're looking a year or two down the line, and then we do, because the elementary school is on state trust land, we have to come up with 47% of that money. So it will be in the millions, I would imagine, to get that fixed. But we'll use our land sale money for that down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really confusing account. The county walked me through it because there's really nothing we do with it other than put the PO towards that account, and then they work together to balance it out. Yeah, I got a nod here from the
So it has
auditor.
the $47,040 of year-to-date expenditures, and that's what's causing the negative essentially, so that's going to be reimbursed?
But we never spent that money as a
So
district.
that was a cleanup payment? Or
Well,
why
it's
is it
from an
showing-
old project, and when that old project gets closed out, whatever the balance is, the school facility board will pay that, and it will go to zero. But we don't get any money back. That's what I've learned in this. So the only time we would spend money of our own would be is if it's at that elementary school on state trust land. Okay? Yeah.
The evening reading I sent you all, I don't know if you got it, sent it to your school district emails, gives a great synopsis, if you will, in layperson's terms for budget versus cash control. So just putting that out there. Any other questions? Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up is the audit presentation. Heinfield and Leach. Come on.
President Rakowski, members of the board, thank you for having me here this evening. My name is Jill Shaw. I'm with Heinfeld Meach, and I was the engagement partner on the audit this year and actually the last couple of years. And I do have a presentation, a PowerPoint, if that's okay. It'd be easier to follow along with the.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a fun book.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would have this review go for you.
I can start in with the slides if that's okay, to keep things rolling. So the audit process, the first slide kind of covers the timeline. So this year's audit started with an engagement letter in October, and that's just really to get the engagement defined and get it started. We didn't come out for on-site field work until January. And then about a month later, drafts of the audit reports were made available for management's review. And then in March, the final audit reports were finalized, issued, and sent by management to all the various authorities that need those reports at the end of the year. The scope of our audit services is really trifold. We do a financial statement audit in accordance with auditing standards, also an audit in accordance with government auditing standards, being a local government, also in accordance with uniform guidance, which are the federal guidelines, and a federal audit is required because this district spends more than $750,000 in federal awards, so that is something required, as well as the Uniform System of Financial Records, also known as the USFR. A big part of the audit is looking at compliance with state statutes in accordance with that USFR. In our ending communications, there was a communication that was emailed to the board at the end of the audit about a month ago. But any of our communications, it does always cover a couple of things. One being fraud. Oh, let's see if I can hit this. There we go. All right, so the first one being fraud, because it's a common misconception that the purpose of the audit is to discover fraud. And while we do have inquiries with management and even a board member during the process about their awareness of fraud and our, just have a general professional skepticism being identifying fraud risks in that, it's not the primary purpose of the audit. The primary purpose of the audit is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance on the financial statements. So what we mean by that is we set some materiality thresholds so that we're providing reasonable assurance on those higher dollar amounts and transactions, but not assurance on every single dollar, because that just wouldn't be feasible in the audit process. But that responsibility for fraud and for the financial statements and internal controls, policies, and procedures does rest with management. And so our independent auditor's report states those responsibilities, as does the engagement letter and the representation letter that the district management signs at the end of the audit. We're required in our audit communications to talk about any estimates. So the major estimate within the district's financial statements is for pension liabilities, and that's a common liability that any entity that participates in ASRS has, because those liabilities are actuarially determined. So just awareness that that is an estimate. We're also required to tell boards about any audit adjustments that are made that are of a more than a trivial nature. And there were a couple of adjustments this year. Typically, adjustments are accompanied by an audit finding because those are essentially errors in the financial statements that need to be corrected. So these couple of bullet points cover those. They have to do with bond, principal, and interest. And really in this case, it's just a miscoding. Our audit adjustment is just to recode those to a different code within the chart of accounts. Not that those expenditures or revenues, that there was any other misstatement in those other than the coding errors. We are required to also tell boards about any non-audit services we provide because we take our independence very seriously as auditors. We have to make sure that we are maintaining that fine line where we're not auditing our own work. So the couple of non-audit services that we provide as auditors are assistance with preparation of the financial statements. So we take the district's general ledger that's in Visions and that is you see in the AFR, and we take that and prepare it into the report that you see as the final audit report that gets submitted to all the different authorities. So that is one audit service that we provide, and we also provide preparation, assistance with preparation of the schedule of federal expenditures that's in that federal single audit report that goes to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse and is a summary of all the federal expenditures for the year. Some other communications that are required, if we had any disagreements with management over financial accounting principles, anything of that nature, we would be required to put that in our communications, and so there was nothing of that nature or even close. We're also required to let you know that management does sign a letter at the end of the audit stating that they take responsibility for the financial statements, and management did in fact sign that letter. And then I kind of mentioned independence as well, that we're constantly evaluating that to make sure that we're not crossing the line there. As a result of the audit, there are 3 different reports that are issued. The largest one is the annual comprehensive financial report. So that contains the audited financial statements and includes our independent auditor's report. The single audit report, that's the report over federal expenditures, and that's the report that is required because the district exceeds $750,000. It's also the report where more significant findings are reported. And then lastly is the Uniform System of Financial Records, that USFR compliance questionnaire, which highlights compliance with state statutes. So to go over just some quick highlights of the first report, the annual comprehensive financial report. On page 1 is the independent auditor's report. We did issue an unmodified opinion this year, which is also known as a clean opinion. So that's the best kind of opinion that any entity can get. And all those regulatory agencies know what that's supposed to look like. And as they go through their due diligence checklist, they'll be able to see that that clean opinion is there. A few other pages, starting on page 17 is the management's discussion and analysis. What this does is it takes the numbers and puts some context to them, so it talks about any increases in revenues or expenses. So that's an area that I like to highlight to boards to read and just to kind of get a gauge for how the numbers changed during the year. Starting on page 30 are the audited financial statements, also known as the basic financial statements. And then starting on page 85 is the statistical section. So this is the one section of the report that's not audited, but it does provide a lot of good 10-year trends for financial data, also non-financial data like attendance, ADM trends, and things of that nature, and that's the reason that it's not audited. But it is a good also area for boards to review. Some highlights of that single audit reporting package. This is the federal piece. There was one material weakness, one finding that we noted, and that had to do with those adjusting journal entries we did, and really just because of the dollar amount of those adjustments is the reason that we have to call it material, is because it was above materiality thresholds. That was the only finding noted in that program. In the prior year, there were 3 additional findings reported that we were deemed corrected. So that's great news that those were fully corrected this year and noted as such. So those agencies can note that. Each year we are required to rotate which federal programs we audit, and typically ends up being the larger programs. This year, we audited the Impact Aid federal program with no findings over that program, so that's great news. The USFR compliance questionnaire is prescribes the minimum internal control policies and procedures that Arizona school districts have to have. So it's very specific to Arizona, it's specific to state statute, and just it covers a lot of areas. Everything from the financials to transportation reports and procurement and attendance reporting and just all of the district's various operations. Where there's a no response on that questionnaire, that's where it indicates that the district did not comply. But a couple of important things to note is that this year, for fiscal year 24, there were 24 no responses, which was a considerable decrease, over half of the findings that were reported in the 2 previous years. So that shows that the district is trending in a great direction in terms of compliance. And what that number doesn't also take into account is the significance of each of those findings. So for example, in the last couple of years, there could have been a finding that said 10 out of 10 journal entries, there was not evidence of approval. And this year that's down to 1 out of 10. So there's a big improvement there that isn't necessarily noted because unfortunately even 1 out of 10 it results in a no response. So that's something to keep in mind, that we saw not only the number of findings decrease, but the severity as well. So lastly, I would just like to, first of all, thank management for everything that they do during the audit. They pull a lot of records for us. And before we even started the audit, the on-site process in January, they had everything uploaded to our portal, is probably hundreds of documents that they upload for us. So that really is a great indicator of how the audit went. When management is prepared, they're ready for us, they have all that uploaded. So we really appreciate that. All of the audit reports were filed in time to meet the statutory deadline of March 31st, so that's another great indication of how an audit went. And they're filed with the Arizona Auditor General, with ADE, the Federal Audit Clearinghouse, various regulatory agencies there. So overall, I would say anytime an audit is on time, it's definitely an indication of a successful audit. So. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions you have about the audit process or audit reports.
Any questions? Comments? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Public comments. Do we have any public comments?
I have one.
Okay. Do you want to read the one?
Call to the public. This is the time for the public to comment. Time limits may be allocated on public comment at the discretion of the board president for the board to efficiently complete its business. The board reserves the right to prohibit any comments made in a discourteous or threatening manner. Complaints about specific individuals, students, or personnel are discouraged. Personnel issues should be directed to the appropriate staff member or administrator per district policy. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to statute, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date.
Okay. Mr. Rudolph, 3 minutes.
President Rutowski, Vice President Reed, members of the board, I'd just like to offer some comments about my volunteer experience at the district. I started volunteering at the request of Dr. J in November of 2023 to assist the finance director, who unfortunately resigned shortly after I started. During my time served, I've written some accounting procedures. I served as the acting finance director after the finance director resigned. I assisted with the financial audits of fiscal year 23 and 24, as you just heard, and I think the staff has made leaps and bounds of improvement. And I reviewed various funds and accounts of the district, finding some things, correcting most of them correctly, but not getting them all. During using my past experience as the controller for the Ohio Turnpike Commission, the controller for the Arizona Department of Transportation, and the finance director for the town of Fountain Hills. I was able to provide guidance and support to the staff in their day-to-day operations, as well as answering questions that arose. District staff are very capable, competent, and enthusiastic employees. Dr. J provides excellent leadership and encouragement to the entire staff, as well as the teachers. I feel privileged to have been able to share my knowledge and expertise with the district, and hope that I have left the district in better position than when I started. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on to action items. First of all, the personnel action on page 31 of our packet. Any questions or comments about that? If not, I will make a motion that we accept. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, the board acceptance of the audit reports. And this is in multiple pages. If there's any questions or comments or other things there.
I just want to say that I'm so proud of our district and proud of our team and all the work that's been put into it by everybody that's had hands on this. I remember when I first got involved with the school district, how bad the audit finding was, and then my first year on the board, how bad that audit finding was. And so I'm grateful for everybody that has worked to improve the status of the district and make it a more trustworthy and thing that people can be confident in.
I want to just state that a couple of places where it said no is because we don't do that. It's not something that is needed by us, or it's not that we're doing something wrong. It's just that it's something that's not done in our district. So I didn't find that bad at all.
Yeah, it's definitely good that the trend is that, as you pointed out, and some of the so-called errors or omissions were very minor. So we're definitely on the right track. Anyone else? If not, who would like to make a motion that we accept the audit report?
I would like to make a motion that we accept the audit report.
And how about a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, audit report is accepted. All right, moving on to the superintendent's performance-based pay, page 202 of our packet.
On this one, does it have to be all one vote, or can it be two votes? Like on whether to approve and then how much? Like the
I
percentage?
believe it's one vote on everything, correct, Krista? Or how we make the motion, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think you would make the motion for, if you're talking about percentage, is that what you're talking about?
Well, can we split it into two votes, where we approve it or don't approve it, and then discuss the percentage amount, or is it all one?
I think you have to make the motion with 3%.
Yeah, my understanding is the way it's all in one. It's an all or none deal.
Okay, well, I guess I would like to make a statement and then a motion. I have been very impressed with Dr. J and with all the things that he's done, the creative work that he's done to change the atmosphere of the district, because like I said, when I first got involved, things were pretty dismal, and I know that you had a lot of mess to clean up. I do think that in the midst of the budget cuts, it's hard to do the full 5%, but I would be comfortable approving 3%, and so I would move that we approve the superintendent performance-based compensation at 3% of the base salary.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any comments or discussion on this? If not, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of a 3% performance-based compensation, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
That the motion does not carry 2 to 3. Okay, I'll make the motion that we accept the 5% performance-based compensation. Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion on that? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, 3-2, that carries. All right, moving on to the work calendars, page 203 to 205. Any questions about any of those? Are there more changes, or these what we discussed previously?
Those are the ones that we discussed, yeah.
Okay.
At the last meeting. Just aligning the 11 and 12-month work calendars to the rest of the staff.
Got it. Okay.
I should say the days off.
Any questions, comments? If not, I'll move that we approve the 11 and 12-month work calendars. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is approved.
Can I take that as a Lillian as a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I will not be offended.
We should do a roll call on these.
Yeah.
That would just prolong the meeting. Okay, next is the job description, the athletic field maintenance worker, which we had also, I think we had discussed at our last meeting. Any questions on that one?
Did we get any clarification on whether or not that's going to be able to be paid with the extracurricular, or were we still waiting on that?
No,
We
it's
are,
tax credit, right?
That's what I meant.
well, we're still, I'd like to get multiple answers, so I can assure you it will not come out of M&M. So I can publicly say it will not come out of M&M. So if we can't, then we have the job description and we just don't do it. But it's not part of our budget for next year, so
Yeah, I think your microphone is kaput.
that's okay. This one works.
You guys hear it? You can speak up, yeah. Any other comments or questions on this?
I think it looks great. I move we approve the athletic field maintenance worker.
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is approved unanimously. Moving on to the Power School breach litigation, which we heard about last meeting. Any additional questions or comments about this one?
I think it's kind of a no-brainer. It looks like a fairly easy case to win since, you know, the company is liable for protecting that data. So I don't see a negative for us, you know, getting our portion of whatever is owed to all of the clients of Power School.
Did we identify any bad outcomes of the breach for our district, or? And what's the potential that they haven't been detected yet?
So when I spoke to our attorney, he had not as of yet, but he also, just like Vice President Reed just said, both Dave Paoli and William, you know, said that there's no downside to pursuing this. And we may not hear about, it could be years into the future when it's discovered, like he said in his presentation, hence why we attempt to get a settlement now and put that aside in case, you know.
And then the more districts that join on, the more leverage and weight that the case carries.
Correct. There was a question about staff time from the board, 2 to 3 hours of staff time. It could be less than that, would be required, you know, by teachers, you know, by all employees. And I'm not sure what that involves yet, just probably questions, things like that.
And no cost to us, except for when the settlement comes through, they take a cut, the attorneys take a cut.
I believe he said 30%.
Yeah. Well, I'm generally against litigation because I think there's too much of it, but would anyone like to make a motion for this one?
I have a question first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the question would be, are we going to continue with Power School?
We haven't had discussions about that as of yet. That would involve, you know, significant training for staff. We would have to look at costs, but that would ultimately be up to Dr. J. We haven't, at least I haven't been involved in any
I
discussions.
can share, it would be a 2-year move, in my opinion. I've been a part of districts that have shifted. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of data movement. And there's typically a period of growing pains with it. I can say if you want to direct us to look at others as a board, we can. And if you want to make a committee as a board and assign that to us to look at the different school information systems that are out there, we're welcome to do that. I just know that you're talking every teacher, every administrator, all having to be retrained and learn a new system, and there would be a lot of hiccups with that. So it's not impossible, but it's just something I think would take, it's a big shift for the district, and I think that would take lots of committee work and lots of planning to do.
And I would expect that they're putting something in place to help prevent a recurrence of this?
Yeah, it sounds like the biggest issue is the multi-factor, authentication. So we will continue to monitor that. We're close to the end of the school year at this point. But like I said, if it's a goal of the district to at least explore and do a presentation back, we can certainly do that on the pros and cons of looking at Synergy or Infinite Campus are the other two large ones that typically are used in Arizona. But there's just a lot of other factors, like for example, Power School. For a lot of us, that's how we don't have to. That's how a lot of people still connect to the Department of Ed for any services there. It's tied into our system that notifies about student absences. And so there's more to it than just the grade book and information. But like I said, if that's a goal, I don't think it hurts to take a look at it. I could say I've worked at Infinite Campus, Synergy, and Power School, and they all have their pluses and minuses.
I'd be interested to see what some of the other districts that are affected by it do as well, whether they stay or whether they go and.
The other thing I just want to mention is one of the reasons that we are, and I'd have to go back and look at, I don't think it was ever an issue for us, but in 2017, when we partnered with Vail is also a Power School district, and everything that they do, for the most part, is out of the Power School platform. Doesn't mean you can't access it from a different one, but it was a lot easier for us. It was more of a seamless move for us to work with them because we were already Power School. But I know they're, out of the 200 and some partner districts, they're not all the Power School. So there are ways to do it, but we use, isn't Performance Matters? Oh, she left. She was here earlier. I believe Performance Matters is also a Power School product, and that's what our teachers use for benchmarks and some of the formatives and things like that. So it's just, you just have to understand it's a massive shift, and it would take a lot of training and a lot of time to do, and it probably isn't a summer project to flip it.
And I think when the attorney spoke to us about the litigation, part of that was that they wanted Power School to provide an easier vehicle for school districts to transition away from Power School if they so choose to do that. So I would say I agree with you. It's a huge lift, and unless you have some assistance, it's a big feat.
We could do it if that's the goal. I think the best path, though, is such a second order change for our district. It's a massive shift. That'd be best to come from the board as a board-directed committee so that the staff understands that this is the governing board asking us to review and report back to them if this is the right product for us versus, it becoming like, well, the administration wants to shift it for whatever reason. Because it does impact, like I said, a lot of factors you don't think about off the top of your head. And we get good at, like I can run an enrollment summary in less than 4 seconds right now, but when we switch to a different product, it might take a lot longer. So it just will slow down productivity a little bit at first, but we're not locked into it forever. We just need to, I think, go through the process very thoroughly because of how many people it affects their day-to-day work.
Okay. Well, if there's no other discussion, does someone like to make a motion to this?
I move we go ahead with the Power School breach litigation.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next up is the Special Education Policies and Procedures Manual, pages 209 to 247. Any questions, comments? Oh, okay.
Leah's got first.
Oh, do we?
So as required by, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
As required by the Department of Education, we have to update our policies and procedure manual yearly. And so in June of 2024, the board approved this exact manual. The only thing that's changed is the dates. This packet has been approved by the Department of Education through the monitoring process last school year. And it has all the components required. And like I said, no updates to these current policies and procedures needed. Do you have
So
any
your
questions?
recommendation is that we approve, yes?
I do.
Okay, any comments, questions?
As good as it did last time.
Okay.
Very comprehensive.
Who would like to make the motion?
I move we approve this year's, the Little Falcons, or special
Special
education
ed.
policies and procedures.
I second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to the policy advisors 809 to 818. This we had spoken of in great detail, and I think all our changes are in there. So I would like to make a motion that we approve policy advisors 809 to 818.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. On to information and discussion items, starting on page 280 or 281. And the first one is the gifted scope and sequence criteria. I don't know who's doing that.
Good evening, members of the board. As part of the Arizona Department of Education monitoring process, the district is required to update their gifted and talented scope and sequence. This document was last updated in 2019. Revising this document ensures that our curriculum remains current, aligned with state standards, and all elements of that the state requires is in this gifted packet. Questions?
Oh, I like the way it's broken down by grade level and everything. It's very good.
Anyone else?
Is it required to only be updated every
Yeah.
5 years or something like that? I mean, why is it that we haven't updated it since 2019?
So this year, the district is in their gifted programs being monitored, and as part of the monitoring process, it's a 5-year cycle that we are updating.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
One thing I did notice after that I did not add the Innovate 21 Junior to it, so I'll have to add that. I noticed after the fact that it was missing.
Other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is another packet of policy advisors 819 to 862. And I did look through these in detail, punish myself. I have a couple of comments that I'll just, raise for discussion or whatever. So policy advisory 822, which is policy BBA and new exhibit BBAE. It's a little glitch here. They say that there's a link to access the electronic surveys provided. There is no link. So whether that will come, but I imagine it's just an electronic version of the one that's in print, which is there. So it's a minor thing. The next question that I had was on policy, let's see, what is this? Policy BBA, which is further down the list there. On the lower part of that, under section, well, it's B, because A, B, and C were cross through. It says, exclude from school all books, publications, papers, or audiovisual materials of a sectarian, partisan, or denominational character. This paragraph does not prohibit the elective course allowed in section 15-17.01. So my question about that is there a clear definition of sectarian, partisan, or denominational? I don't think there is, so excluding all books that address that is hard to implement, if not impossible to implement. So if anyone has comments or if you think about it between now and the next time we actually have to vote on this. This is policy BBA.
BBA.
BBA, board powers and responsibilities at the bottom of the page.
At the bottom.
It's in the new paragraph B, because A, B, and C are redlined, not redlined, but they're, they're lined through.
What page is it on?
So the new B,
329.
which actually should be the new A, because A, B, and C are lined through, so there is no A, so this
I
should be
think
B.
A is that bottom of the
Yeah, they
C,
changed.
prescribe
Right.
and enforce.
Huh?
That prescribe and enforce.
Oh, that's
policy.
right, okay. So that's actually A, but they don't have A. Oh, yeah, A is not crossed. Got it, okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so B on that, if you want to look at that now or look at it, whatever, and think about that. The other thing on that same policy, I believe, right? Yeah. It's like the third page of that policy, where it has the duties and obligations of an individual board member include the following. And it lists several. On E, it says to accept the will of the majority vote in all cases and give wholehearted support to the resulting policy. Not to encourage dissension, but the word wholehearted, I mean, if you vote against something, can you honestly give wholehearted? I think we should support, but the wholehearted word is kind of what, I don't know.
I agree. I think that should probably be reworded, because while we support the decision of the board, that I agree we are allowed to have different
Yeah.
opinions, and we represent different people from the community, and so in the end, there is going to be differences of opinions and approach. I think that, it needs to be worded differently, because I think the goal is that we don't, disparage the decision of the board,
Yeah. So I'm thinking in all cases and support the resulting policy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simpler. So we'd get rid of give, wholehearted, to, those three words. And I could send that to you.
I got it.
You got it?
That.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that was
all right.
me.
Okay, that's all I found. Did anyone else find anything else? Or?
I reserve the right to find more later.
Okay, all right, this will come up.
It was a lot.
I guess the next meeting for discussion and potential approval or whatever.
So do you want it coming back as for discussion or action?
What are their thoughts?
We can do action.
Action?
Yeah,
Because we could always vote against it if we.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we.
If we can discuss ahead of time, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we could always do that, so, and if it's, needs more discussion, we can always defer it till later. Because is there a deadline on these? I mean, there's more to, there's another packet coming through, I know, yeah.
I will tell you that I will not be here for the May 7th meeting, so if there's any
Right.
changes, I will, and get them from live stream, but it would help if somebody, if you find anything else,
Yeah.
and you want to just make notes
And
for
we'll-
me,
yeah.
that would be great.
So we have to speak clearly on live stream, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At least with these covers, it doesn't slur my speech anymore, that's nice. Okay, moving on to an overnight field trip, the summer football camp.
What page?
This is page 417 of the packet.
You should have all the information. We have, in recent years, gone up north for some kind of football camp. We've updated our field trip request form and ensured that it's the only activities that I'm aware of at this time are just football-related activities at the camp.
Any questions?
I love supporting things like this. My brothers were big sports players when they were in Fountain Hills, and they always benefited from these kinds of trips, not just the skills and things like that, but like the brotherhood and all of the stuff that happens when you go away as a team. So I love it.
Anyone else? Okay, next up, the athletic fee increase.
Dr. Rakowski, members of the board and guests. As part of our budget revision, we it shared that it's probably long overdue that we have some kind of increased athletic participation. The proposal that our team has come up with is a $50 increase per sport. I can say that we've had these discussions on and off since 2017, 16, and I remember the principal presenting at the time showing that a young child playing Boys and Girls Club basketball, Little League, and Pop Warner football, parents at that time probably paid more for those three than are playing three sports at Fountain Hills High School. So it's not a huge increase to our overall budget savings, but it is something that we do consider at some point. So a $50 additional fee is not a huge change, considering I don't believe they've been shifted since at least before 2016. I don't think they've shifted in the last decade. So something for you guys to consider. Again, $50 I don't think is going to shift the number of student athletes we have. We already have free and reduced savings for student athletes. We've had in the past donors who donate sports fees. We work really hard to make sure no one that can't afford to play is left out. We've never had that in all the years I've been here. But I just believe that we need to start looking at the fact that athletics do cost quite a bit, and a $50 increase is maybe a step in the right direction.
Do our students pay for uniform costs, or their families? Okay.
I mean, there could be certain sports, like, I'll give an example, girls basketball, because I was closely involved in that this year. They did team shoes, and so that cost is put on the parents. They don't have to do it, but it's kind of hard not to. So I can say that between last year, I had 3 student athletes in 8 sports, something like that. We had a lot of extra fees outside of just the sports fee. So remember, families can use tax credit up to a certain point to help cover some of the costs. But again, if you feel this is not the right time, it's not a massive savings. I predicted to save us $15,000 for the whole year. So on a $9.2 million budget. So it is something we could consider. It's something we could look at again next year. But it's something that we probably do need to continue to look at with rising costs.
Anyone else?
The only comment I would have for that is that I think that it's, something like that, it's could be considered an extra. I mean, it really is called an extracurricular because it is kind of an extra. So I think that finding creative ways to add little bits like that back to our budget is exactly what will shift things here, because it's going to be little things like that that we don't notice are eating away at the budget. So I think that asking our families to afford a little bit more is probably not a big ask, and there's always creative ways to go about that and maybe work with our community and see about sponsoring a student athlete and things like that. There's always going to be options to help the families that don't have the means to do that for their student.
Okay. Moving on, next up is Little Falcons preschool pricing for the next academic year.
We are wanting to raise our fees for full day from $620 to $670, a $50 increase. That being said, we're also shifting our times. We would like to shift our times. We would like to be more in line with McDowell Mountain, and we'd like to start just a little earlier and get out a little earlier because they are so young. So we are proposing starting at 8:15 and dismissing at 2:45. The advantage of that is we're lengthening our morning. So instead of teaching 2.5 hours, we'll be teaching 3.5 hours. So that would $50 for another hour of teaching. That would be for full day. Half day would be
$425, and again, that's a $50 increase from 11:15. I'm sorry, from 8:15 to 11:45 instead of 11:15 like it is now. So we are proposing that increase.
That's very fair.
Our rate is still very low compared to other places, so.
That's
I'm all for
kind of
this.
how we feel for the, you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yes, you do.
With our program. I guess the next thing is the handbook. There isn't a lot of change, however, you know, with dates and with the new times and fees, that is reflected in the handbook. Also, were just some, it's not many things, just that, like I said, the time and the fees. We did, as you can see where the red is the old, but the childcare before, we'd like to say, keep the same at $10, but after-school care would go from $245 to $5. So we're lengthening that quite a bit. So we were proposing $20, so it's kind of balanced, like about $10 an hour. And then just that our camps, it said our camps will be offered. I felt safer in saying our camps may be offered because we don't know from year to year what, we would hope that they would be. The only other changes are, again, the dates, the times. There was a slight change, under curriculum, we just added the benchmark Ready to Advance comprehensive preschool curriculum is being used as well. So we wanted that noted in there. On page 11, we just added to the dress code, live and learn from year to year. And so there's just some things that we've come up against this year that we would like to prevent for next year.
Yeah, I did not expect to see the may not wear face
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Yeah, so we just wanted to cover ourselves. I hate to say, oh, that you can't do that if it's not in our handbook.
Yes.
It's a little distracting.
I had a question. Go ahead.
Oh, did you have a question?
I have a question on page 12, 435 of our packet there. The one thing here, students will need a labeled thermos filled with water daily. I'll admit I'm being picky here, but should that be like labeled container? Because insulated, I don't know, some of those are real expensive.
Yeah,
I know thermos is kind of used like Kleenex, it's like generic, but
Yes,
it's like
it
brand
is,
name. The
yeah.
thermos is a
water,
brand
usually,
name.
and I usually do type water bottle.
Yeah, but it says labeled thermos.
I know,
filled with
I don't
water, so
know,
maybe
and I
just
don't usually use that
labeled
word.
container.
And when you use water bottle, in the case of, and this has happened to me as mom, where my son has lost all of his water bottle thermoses, as you might call them, and so I have to just put a regular bottle of water in his backpack.
Yeah.
Is that going to be
That's
something
fine, as
acceptable?
long as it is a labeled container of water.
Yeah, so I would just change that from
Okay.
thermos to container.
Mhm.
That's kind of more
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, we can do that. It does help. We really like everything labeled. And we just kind of tweaked the snack calendar, what we've been doing for years, and it's worked. So those are really the only changes except for dates. Any questions about the handbook?
I have a quick question, because it did say breakfast and lunch are available for purchase, and then that's not
Yes.
going to be in there.
We have to feed our children or offer food every 2 hours, I believe it is.
Okay.
So with this being different, what I've been doing this year is, we can offer Sodexo. We found that the products just weren't right for us for breakfast. So we don't have that many children that don't have breakfast before they come or bring their breakfast with them like they do their lunch.
Okay.
But I do always have a breakfast item there for them, and I ask them if they're hungry.
Okay.
So that's being provided,
Okay, thank you.
just in case they need something. We always have extra. And then the only other change, and it's not in the handbook, but we just came up with a fee agreement for Club Falcon. That, just something a little more permanent, so that parents have something they've signed and agreed to as far as the Club Falcon fees. And the camps are at $250. The, like I said, the before care is still staying at $10. The after would be $20. And then on our early release days, when children would be leaving at $2:45, if they stay until 5, that would be a $30. So staying at that $10 an hour fee.
So I think you need to change that
Yeah, the
to say
2:40.
11:45 to 5. It says 2:45.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last one there, the half-day
Oh,
care.
yes, you're right, thank you. Yeah, we'll get that in the thermos thing taken care of. Any
Anyone else?
questions, or?
Well, if it does change from 11:45 to 5.
It would be after-school care on just early release days, on half-days, would be, so our half-day, it would be 11:45, and then.
But if it goes to 5.
Well, no,
that's-
this is right, because if they're released, school's over, it's early release day, they're released. So if they have to stay, then they would be paying for that extension. And if they stay till, from 11:45 to 2:45, which is the normal end of the day, it would be those 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, and then the
And if they want to stay up
after-school
till 5,
would be
then
the
it would be
after-school.
extra,
Extra 20,
yes.
that makes
That's
sense.
kind of how it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anyone else? Okay, moving
Okay.
on to the, thank
Uh-huh,
you.
thanks.
The board meeting dates for next year.
Thank you, Krista, for sitting with me. You were talking to me about holidays. Thank you.
So, we wanted to actually add a little discussion to that because we're having difficulties this year. Backing up a bit, past practice used to be that in May we had one board meeting because the end of the month is so busy with promotion, kindergarten, all the different grade levels that we're recognizing and the events that are going on. I think it's just been in the past 2 years that we've added that second meeting. And this year we are finding some struggles. So next board meeting, we're actually going to bring back the 24-25 board meeting dates in hopes to either move or ultimately eliminate that second board meeting in May. So we would actually, if you guys are not opposed to it, we would like to, for next year's board meeting, eliminate that second meeting. Basically, this year, we're finding that with 8th grade promotion, 5th grade promotion, graduation, the events that are that week of the board meeting, there is only one day, and that would be Monday that a board meeting can be held. And that means you guys would be at an event every single night.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I would like to make that change and present that as an action item next meeting, and then we would also like to bring back the 24-25 and see how you guys feel about eliminating the second board meeting in May.
Because then you have to choose between going to an event or the board meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there something that is super important that usually happens on the end of May meeting?
No, we can plan around that. We have
Okay.
first one in May and the 2 in June. This year, what's falling on it is Miss Reichler's promotion.
Oh.
And that's, pretty big because it's the 5th grade promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that in the past. You gotta remember too, 2 years ago, it was, it was really, 8th grade in high school. I don't know if 3rd grade ever did anything. But maybe they did a small thing in 3rd grade. But now 5th, 8th,
Yeah.
12th, preschool and kindergarten, so you have 5 different things. But plus graduation's that Friday, and you got the grad walk, and you just have a lot of things that week.
Any objections to having one less meeting?
We can't vote
It's a
on
loaded
it right
question,
now.
isn't it?
I will make that change and bring back the schedule exactly as is, less that second meeting in May.
All right, last information item is the Purple Star School Program.
Nelson Meekum's here to present on this, so thank you for staying.
Good evening. Okay, so one day a couple weeks ago, I was going through the ADE website, which we all do, right? And I came across this program. It's called the Arizona Purple Star School Program. And as I read more about it, I realized we already accommodate kids as much as we possibly can. And as I was reading about it, I thought, you know what, we're already doing it. Why wouldn't we become a designated school for it? So I don't know if you got all the way through those 400 pages, but at the end, they have a lot of there are some pages of information about the program. Let me give you just a really quick synopsis of it. The Purple Star School Program supports military-connected children who have relocated to new schools due to their parents being stationed in a new place. It happens a lot, and these kids who are moving a lot or who are impacted by their parents who are on deployment, there are special circumstances for them. Arizona has 10 military installations, 503 schools with military-affiliated students, and 46,000 military-affiliated students. The pilot program for this Purple Star School candidates was launched in October of 2023, and community and military advocates testified in front of the House Education Committee in January of 2024. That bill was unanimously passed out of the Education Committee, Democratic and Republican caucuses, the Senate Education Committee, and Senate caucuses before finally being signed into law by Governor Hobbs. So it has widespread support. And this program is designed to aid schools in their response to the educational and social challenges that the children face during their transition. So there are a few things that, as a high school, that we would need to do to get that designation. One of which would be identifying a person of contact. And in my estimation, I think that our district registrar, Kim Garman, would be an excellent choice because of her, she is a veteran, she is a military spouse, she has a number of other qualifications. I asked her to list them and they're numerous, but a couple of them. She was the coordinator for Exceptional Family Member Program. She's also our first point of contact when we have families come in. And so she would be a great one to identify if they're a family in need of, that has a military-connected child. So that is the first one, is just to have a person of contact. Another is to make sure that 70% of our teachers, including administrators, have gotten the appropriate professional development, which they also help with to get us the professional development. We would have 90 days in order to do that after we apply for the designation. And we would need to have at least one patriotic event, which we do. And we also talked about the club that we've had on campus, which would qualify under that as well. And to create a unique webpage, which I've already talked to Dr. J. He said he'd be more than happy to do that dedicated webpage showing our designation as an Arizona Purple School. So again, I don't know if you were able to look through all of those things, but I think it also shows our support. And in the community, showing that we support these military-connected families.
Sounds great.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you, Allison.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. I have one question.
Absolutely.
Is it only for the high school? Or can we get it as a district for all the schools?
It would have to be individual schools. From what I have seen, so if you go to the Arizona Department of Ed website for this, you can go to, there's a site, if you click on, instead of for schools, click on the one for parents. There are links to all of the schools that are Arizona Purple Schools designated. In Maricopa, in our district, in our area, I think that there are only 11 schools, and none of them list the whole district.
Okay.
So I think that we would have to designate.
By school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would have to find out if we could, since she is a district employee, if we could just use Kim Garman as the point of contact for all three.
Right.
So.
And Kim's okay with it?
I've already talked to her, absolutely. I wouldn't say her name unless I already got the okay. She's already a liaison for our armed forces there. If any kids have questions, she sets up those appointments too.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thanks. All right, future action includes cell phone policy. I think that's passed both houses of the legislature. I'm not sure it's been signed by the governor yet, but probably will be.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
It
Okay,
was.
so that's coming. Club policies, ESA voucher students in sports, student outcomes such as report cards and proficiency data, and a discussion on Four Peaks. Our upcoming meetings, May 7th and maybe May 21st or not?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. 6 p.m. right here. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I
A
second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Considering how long this was?
Not bad, 8:10. I think we did okay.
Not too bad, we did it.
Not bad.
How did we do that?
Okay, just have, I think there's a couple things to sign.
Wow. I'm impressed.
See, I told you not to worry. Okay, just two things to sign.